Hey everybody, my name is Jeremy and welcome to my garage. This is the second part of my series for restoring my 1997 Land Rover Defender 90. So today what I'm going to be doing is starting the bulkhead removal. So as you see here in your standard D90, you've got this bulkhead that goes to the front of the cargo area. Now I've already got the seats removed, obviously, and I'm going to remove that. Now what I'm going to be putting in place is this Britpart bulkhead removal kit. If you've bought one of these before, you maybe have seen this rather hard to read instruction manual. I don't know why Britpart doesn't get a color printer when they send this out, because I'll show you the part itself. They call it I guess a bullhorn bar that sits in up front like that in place of the bulkhead to give the stability. But to get it in, you've got to do a bit of surgery. So luckily I found online this same document that I can look at in a PDF. So that's what I'm using. So the other piece I have back here, I'll be doing another video on it, is since this is a 1997, I bought a set of Puma seats. And I need to modify these wheel wells. But I'm not doing that today. I'll be doing that. I'm gonna get the bulkhead done first, then I've got a cutaway for these. I kind of want to get all my cutting done, all the really rough stuff cutting, the stuff that I'm gonna make a big mess before I do any of the finer work in it, like the sound deadening and so on. I got lots to do on this, so I thought I would start with the bigger, messy stuff first. So I'm going to mark it up right now, my cut lines, and then we'll get started on cutting. Underneath here was a bar like this on either side. So took all those rivets out, and I've marked it up now along here, down here, and then all along the bottom. So next step is to actually cut it out. Let's start grinding. We've got that bulkhead out. Makes it look a lot bigger in here, eh? So it went pretty smoothly. You'll see here, these are still all rough edges. I've got to finish these off, cut right along that. I'll grind that down with a buffing wheel. It was a little bit of a trick. I can see in the instructions where it said to cut it straight down here. And this is here, I'll show you the piece that I took out. This is it here. So you cut straight down where those two pieces join. Which I did, but of course what it leaves you with is this piece still in there. Now, in the instructions it says to use a spot weld remover, because you'll see right here, there's a couple of spot welds. So I haven't used a spot weld remover. Yet I was able to cut around that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I don't have a spot weld drill bit here. I can pick one up. They're not expensive. I might do that if I can take those off without damaging the body, which I did. I nicked it here a little bit, which you can see a bit coming through. So I'll have to do that, fix that up when I'm done before the truck's finished. Anyhow, quite happy with how it came out. Now I've got, like I said, I've got to dress these edges because they're a little bit sharp. And move on to the next step. Like I say, we got the bulkhead out, but what I've been working on is the wheel wells here. In the instructions of Britpart, what they instruct you to do is cut where I've cut. Take this corner here, bend it over, and then round this off a little bit so it's not taking off the sharp edges. But I didn't like that, because once I carpet this, you'd be left with this ridge. So you'll see on this side, I took that lip out. I riveted to, because of course these rivets here support the wheel well to this panel. So I did the support from underneath. I'll show you that in a second. I used a piece of 1-inch aluminum angle and put it in here, riveted through, put a sealant in there as well. So I should get the same strength without having that lip. Now, once I do my carpeting and my under sound deadening, should round those off nicely. Same thing here. I took it down almost flush, but I didn't want to take this sealant out. But once I put the sound deadener over that and then the carpet, you're not going to see that. Besides, the bullhorn bar is going to be right there, so I don't think that's going to make a difference. I'll show you the underneath here. So that's what I've done with the aluminum. Like I say, I've got to seal it up a little bit better there. I've got some of the sealant when I put it in, but I'll finish that sealant up. And that's what we look at. So next, I'm going to do the same to this side. Then I need to take the window panels out to get my support in here, and I need to nick these off as well. So that's next step. The last step is done. I'm pretty much finished with the bar. So as you can see, I needed to take the back panels out here. The instructions call for removing the whole roof. I didn't. I just supported it here, as you can see, with some straps, took the weight off, pulled it up a couple of inches to get the roof off of these bolts. I could have taken these out as well, but it was okay, it just popped out. Lot of effort to get those out, but all came out fine. So let's take a look at the bar. So bar is now bolted in here. It comes with a plate with 2 studs, threaded studs coming up here. When I first installed it, this is originally mounted from the underside here, and this has the nuts welded on for your seat belt, and possibly a center seat belt, but mine didn't have that. You have to take this out. I didn't realize that at first, but when I went to put the plate in, the space that the threads took up, obviously I didn't have enough space here, so I just popped those out. Those bolts were a little bit firm, so I had to grind one off, but they came out fine. Let's see, take a look here. I'll just get in the back, might be easier to view. Bar goes across here. Got the 3 bolts on the top and going to this plate, or sort of this bar, and then the bullhorn is buttoned into it there. I'm happy with how it came out. This is all, I've got this all kind of ground off. This was a little bit of excess that had to be ground off. I guess you could have left it in there, but I don't see the point. It's in the way. Have a bit of an exposed edge that I'll have to paint up, but I'm gonna do all the fine touch-ups and painting when the truck's done. I got a lot of other big pieces to do in here. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with it. Now I'm going to put the roof back on. Oh, actually, one other thing that kind of disappointed me. These here, sorry, down here, on the back, there is an identical sized plate for the 3 bolts to go through, and it has 3 nuts welded on. Well, as you can see, on this side is the opposite of this side. So the plate, there's a left and a right plate. Well, Britpart sent me, or it came from Paddock Spares, but Britpart made it, 2 lefts. So when I went to put it on the right here, you'll notice I have a non-matching bolt because I had to actually drill it out and then put my own nut on the back. Not a big deal. I mean, it took me an extra 10 minutes to drill it out on the drill press. It works just fine, but it was a little bit of a head scratcher when I first opened it. So anyhow, that's my experience installing this. What I would do differently next time, I probably would have taken these side panels out right away, taken them out first. I resisted taking them out immediately, hoping I'd be able to somehow attach these, but there's absolutely no way you would get these in the small space that you're allowed. So definitely take these panels off, gives me more room to work in and out of here. But other than that, it was a little more work than I expected, but I'm happy with the way it's come out. So on to the next project. Hit subscribe to my channel here, and I will show you next step. I'm going to be doing the modifications to these wheel wells to allow for the new Puma rear forward facing seats. Have a good one. Thanks.